What a day. I mean, this was different. This was different than normal. And you know, right here we have Albergue Temporal para Menores, DIF Rio Tijuana. Okay, so normally I would come out here and I would say something to you like, all the children cried in my arms and they were crying, and there was a line of kids every single time I come here. And they tell me things like, wow, I could feel your love. I could feel your vibration coming. Great. Okay. And some of that happened today, but it happened in different forms. Like, I'm going to tell you, there are children here that I've known in the other orphanage homes for years. But now I see them, I'm like, oh my God, Analu or Socorro, what are you doing here? So on my screen that I had on my PowerPoint presentation, I put their pictures from the past, from like 6, 7, 8 years ago, into these presentations. And so all the other kids would be like, oh, it's you, Analu, Socorro, Jennifer. And so we had a great time with it. But here's how this week was much different. So this week we only had time to do the girls. And there was 3 age group of girls, and I'm still missing the youngest age group of girls. And then, so I talked to the director and I said, okay, it's better that I think I do the girls next week or the boys, as opposed to trying to rush them in and do them quickly. So I had all this candy we brought, and they have half of it in like a shopping cart. You guys would crack up. I mean, kids would think it was the best thing in the world. There's a shopping cart full of candy, and we had to take out every single chocolate piece because that messes with the medication of the kids. So it was only like fruit roll up, fruit by the foot, fruit snacks and stuff like that. And okay, so let's get into the good stuff here, besides the candy, because we all love candy. So when I was wrapping up with each age group, I would ask the girls, okay, now that we're done looking at the slideshow of my pictures of my youth and all the pictures of the 11 years in the orphanage system here in 11 homes, let's ask you a question. What do you all want to know? And the oldest age group went first. So one girl raised her hand and said, Tete, I'm going to be leaving here, so I'm scared because to walk in the morning, walk at night, I'm a girl, I'm alone, and I also worried about the career and what I'm going to do for schooling. Do you see how much anxiety these children carry? I mean, being inside these walls, you literally are thrust out into the world. And everybody, if you heard, Tijuana is the murder capital of the world. And it is, I'm telling you what, there is no daydreaming. I love to daydream. But you're not driving through the city, first of all, looking at the major holes in the ground, but you're also aware of what's going on around you at all times, because there's so much change. And think about that change. Okay, so I said, thank you, my love. And I said, you know what? For one part of this, I'll be your mentor forever. You find me on Facebook, and we'll talk about your school goals, your life goals. We'll get that for you, don't worry. But I want to teach you about protecting yourself. And I did the same thing for each age group down. So the youngest ones were 13, and the lowest age group to 16, but it was kind of like 2 older groups in that. So what I taught them was, I went up and I said, look, I'm going to walk up to you and say, hi, my name's Tete. What's your name? And I want you to say, no, thank you. And at first they were doing it with a smile. And I said, I know, because you love me and I love you, but say it without a smile, because if you give a guy a smile, he thinks she said no, but she really means yes, and I should try again. So I had these girls just step back up to the plate and say, no, thank you. And one of the smallest girls, Alejandra, she's the smallest girl. She was the spiciest girl, and she was the best. Like, no, thank you, and walked away. So then I had the second round. If a man approaches you and you see he's been drinking, then you say firmly, no, thank you. And then you walk away, which they did a great job. And I explained to the girls that this stuff will happen with men in the grocery store, at the beach, when you're in a park, when you're at a party, when you're in the club. You are going to get men are ruthless with their hitting on women. And I think we all know that. I actually turned to the directors and the cuidadoras, the home workers, every time that they were there. And I said, hey, isn't this true? Exactly. These men are going to hit on you all the time here. So then there was the third round with the girls. As I went up to them, I said, look, you could tell I've been drinking. And so I am going to walk up to you, but I'm going to be aggressive this time. And so I turn around like I was talking to my friends, like, hey, compas, she wants me. This is bullshit. Okay, I'm gonna go hit on her. So I went back around to her and I kind of stumbled up, like, give me a hug. And I taught her to push me hard in the chest. I said, I could take it, push me hard, and yell, no, and then start walking the other way fast. And that's what she did. So every age group, we did that exact same routine. Now you wanna hear a little something extra that I taught them? There's two things. All right, you're gonna love it. Number one, I taught them when they're walking down the street at nighttime and they see a man like 50, 100 meters away, cross the street immediately. And why is that? Because not only it just protects you, yes, in the moment, but you can tell that if a man crosses the street with you, then he's up to no good, probably. He may just be going home, but then you need to cross back and avoid him. Because if he crosses back again, then you got to start running and yelling for help. So that was number one. And so number two that I did, I had actually a fourth step to that layer. Number one, no thank you. Number two, no thank you me. Number three, get away from me. And number four, I put out my hand here below my belt line. And I said, what do you think you're gonna do here? Yes, you're gonna kick me in the hand, representing my huevos, my nuts. And I want you to kick me in my hand or knee me, depending how close I am. And I made every single girl in there line up and knee or kick my hand and then walk away. And I told them that this isn't something that just happens in the park, at the beach, at the club. I said they're very uncomfortable situations where you're in a house. And I asked, who here plans on never drinking again? And there was one girl who raised her hand and said, hey, I have your back, okay? I love that, great, okay? So I love you, awesome. And for you other girls, it's gonna be 11 p.m. at night. You're gonna be a dangerous neighborhood outside. You've had a margarita, a shot, and 2 beers. You're feeling buzzed, you can't drive, you don't have money for Uber. And then there's the guy on the couch, and your friends went to bed, and he's keep trying to hit on you. And he like tries to lean in for a kiss. And then it's your job. You can't be too rude because he might get mad. So your job is to get up off the couch first and go sit on the floor against the wall. Like, hey, stay there. I don't want to do that. Because if you do that, he won't be offended, but you're going to send a very clear message. So what am I talking about here, everybody? When I call myself the orphanage mentor, it's not because it's some self-given name, just like the theme of today, I am worthy. It's not an affirmation. It's literally because I'm giving these kids the real life. They have plenty of priests, pastors, women, they call them monjas out here, like nuns. Great people, teachers. They have all these kind of things, psychologists, but there's nobody who's putting it on the line, like crossing into their territory and telling them the real, and then giving the real life experiences, right? Not just like, hey, this is gonna okay, right, like I just said. All right, so just whoa. And one other thing, I try my best. Like I text myself all their names that I can't remember, so I practice them, but then I forget their faces. So today I have a notebook, and I'm gonna take a picture of it just in case I lose the notebook, of not only each one of their names, but little things that I could remember them by. And I had one of the girls who I've known in the other orphanage home for years actually write all the names out for me. And then I'd be like, okay, Analu, and now write like girl in all pink. Or like, I don't know, write the one that's shorter than Leah, like the shortest one in the house. So I would leave little hints, or 3 friends came up together, Esmeralda, Yasolin, and Sandra. So I wrote, okay, write the 3 friends, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And just really great stuff, because I tell them, like, look, in other orphanage homes, I take a picture of the kids and then I write their name on the picture. So by the next week, I come back and I know everybody's names in the houses. But here, I can't practice that. I have to leave my phone at the front desk, and I can't even practice your name. So like I try, and so this way is so much better. I mean, just what a great trip. And it was so much different than normal, right? They need a fatherly love. They need a mentor. They need somebody who hugs them. But when I opened up my heart to them first and showed them my whole family, I showed them my history with real estate, how a team stole all my money. And then I told them about Hollywood, how I went up to Hollywood and was a trained musician, singer. And then I told them how I worked in the #1 nightlife spot in LA to pay for everything, all the singing, voiceover, heartache from real estate. And I told them about everything I saw, the drug use, the the sex diseases. I told them about the drugs that were around everywhere. So by me continuously opening my heart to the children, that's how I earned their respect. So love you all so much. Once again, share this story, babies. Share it with somebody that could hear it, that wants to hear it, that could hear it. Like, subscribe. This is what I want to get back to doing every single
Empower lives, inspire change. Subscribe to our channel today.